Everyone, good morning, man. Do we got a lot to talk about on the radio today? Oh, man. FLA 3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show.
Good morning, everyone. Make sure you like the video and, of course, subscribe if you're new here.
888 cocaine 1. That's 1-888 cocaine.
Hey, guys, welcome. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. This year celebrating 45 years on the airwaves of Florida, the Steve Kane Show. It is Thursday, February 3rd, 2022, Black History Month. And, I don't know if this is some subliminal racism, but has it struck anyone that Black History Month falls in the shortest month of the year? Yes, yeah. Why is that? Why is Black History Month in the shortest month of the year? I don't know. It must be systemic racism. All right, listen, we got a lot to talk about, and I do want to take your calls. This story at CNN with Jeff Zucker, I'm going to talk about that here in the beginning of the program. I know a lot of people are trying to blow this off and say, oh, what's the big deal? You got two people, consensual adults, activities. What's the problem here? There's a lot of problems, okay? CNN is a sleazy, slimy place, right? Here you have Jeff Zucker, who's been running CNN into the ground for many years. We find out that he has been having a sexual relationship with a woman for many, many years, that he has taken from job to job, promoted up through the ranks simply because they're involved in a sexual relationship with one another. That's a big deal. She's also connected to Governor Cuomo, another sex pest over there. So so Jeff Zucker is in the middle of really two sex scandals. His own, well, actually more as we get into it, his own and Governor Cuomo's because of his girlfriend's connection to it. Here you have Chris Cuomo, who was just recently fired, involved in litigation to get his $18 million money that he believes he's owed to fulfill his contract, who broke this news in the depositions in his litigation, but he was over there on CNN covering up multiple sex scandals. Don Lemon, also on CNN in the evenings, also has a sex scandal involving him where there's an accusation that's been made against him about something inappropriate that happened in a bar. A man is making an accusation. Jeffrey Toobin, who was the legal correspondent, the legal analyst, the Napolitano, what Napolitano used to be to Fox. Jeffrey Toobin, about the masturbation problem with him. He was masturbating to one of his female colleagues on a live Zoom meeting, and they brought the guy back. What else is it that we don't know? Megyn Kelly was on Eric Bolling's show on Newsmax TV yesterday, and she said there are many more shoes to drop. She said she can't report on them yet, but there are many more shoes that are going to drop. Remember, she's a big, a connected woman when it comes to sex in the newsrooms. And I still know what you're saying. Who cares? Consensual relationship. This is a big deal for a number of reasons. But one of them is this. And I know to a lot of our conservative listeners and to MAGA people, at first you won't see this like I'm sharing it with you, but it's true. CNN is a tool and a weapon. A weapon can be a tool, but CNN is a tool and a weapon used by the left, used by Democrats to slander conservatives, like President Trump, which they did for many, many years, accusing him of sleazy sex stuff while they have it going on over there at CNN. The stuff about Trump wasn't true. They got a lot of sex secrets going on over at CNN. But also in the mainstream media, which is the majority of media, CNN is what the New York Times used to be long ago. CNN is the news source of record for the entire mainstream media. To the mainstream media, to the liberal media, the corporate media, it's not real, it didn't happen, and it's not news unless it's been reported by CNN. So here and CNN has been crafting the narrative on many things for years. Here in our own community, after we had the god-awful Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, CNN came to town. And let me tell you, they're animals. They're monsters at CNN. The whole media came to town, but CNN had the town hall meeting at the Panthers Arena, where there have been Trump rallies, where President Trump was recently with Bill O'Reilly, and stirred up hate, stirred up a narrative. CNN has been a driving force with so many negative narratives in this country. The fake impeachments of President Trump, their gun control narratives, their lies about sex and other things with President Trump. They are the liberal corporate media, mainstream media, narrative source, news organization of record. And we find out that these people who have been sitting on it's what a coincidence that this nonsense happened with Whoopi Goldberg this week, because both the Coven of the View, the ladies of the View, and CNN, they have these star chambers. They sit up on a stage above the rest and pass moral judgment on every conservative in our society. And if there's someone they don't like, President Trump, and there's others too, they destroy them with fake stories, fake news. You know what we're talking about. That lowlife Jim Acosta, Brian Stelter, and all the rest. So you have these people putting scarlet letters on every conservative out there who's prominent for decades. CNN and The View have one major mission: promote Democrats. And to do that, destroy and slander whatever conservative is the prominent conservative at the time. Fake stories about the great Matt Gaetz, fake stories about the great Marjorie Taylor Greene. They have been crafting a false narrative about the Capitol breach as well. Years of false reporting on President Trump. I don't have to go through the Hannity list. You know the list. If you listen to Hannity on the radio, you know it by heart, by rote, because he's first 90 minutes of his show was going through the list every day. It seems like 90 minutes, probably just the first segment. I don't know. And there are many other examples. So these people that craft the mainstream narrative in our society, they're pushing us into a war right now. Another war. They're pushing us into a war with Russia right now. Thousands of American troops heading off to Europe. Really? Kidding me? For what? For what? For ratings? Corporate profits? And this is beyond a consensual relationship between two adults. CNN is basically a big swingers club, is what it is, filled with sleaze buckets, total sleaze balls. So no, this is don't let them. Oh, this is just a couple consensual. This is a consensual relationship between a couple adults. No, it is not. You know, also what he was doing is possibly criminal, promoting somebody up through the ranks because you're sleeping with them. And I'll tell you, everyone at CNN knew about it. Now there are talks from CNN inside. See, there are a lot of people in CNN that are pretty pissed off about the way things have been going at CNN. That's why a lot of CNN people have left and made their way to Fox and elsewhere over the years. But now they're saying Brian Stelter, they call him Jeff Zucker's water boy, Brian Stelter. CNN insiders are now saying that Brian Stelter, who is always sitting on some moral high of everyone, Brian Stelter up on high, passing judgment, deciding who's legit, who's not, who's news, who's not, as if he's, I don't know what he thinks he is. But CNN insiders are now saying that Brian Stelter not only knew, but was involved in a cover-up of the Jeff Zucker affair at CNN. They call him Jeff Zucker's water boy, and it seems that people inside CNN dislike Brian Stelter as much as all of us do. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? All of a sudden he's on TV passing judgment on everyone. So the word is out of CNN, this is being reported in multiple sources, that Brian Stelter is next for the chopping block, for the retirement block, for the firing. Now, all these things, this does not mean that CNN is going to become a legitimate news organization with all the fallout, but they're going to become more legit than they are now. They're going to become a lot more legit than they are now. Now, Brian Stelter's so wrapped up with himself, like Jim Acosta, they think they're untouchable and everything else, and these guys never do anything wrong. But this Jeff Zucker story, when you put it together with the Cuomo scandal, the Don Lemon scandal, Jeffrey Toobin with his masturbation scandal, and all these other things going on CNN is going to go through a major restructuring. And you see this happening with Whoopi at The View. She may walk. Whoopi Goldberg's talking about walking from The View, quitting. What we're going to start to see is less judgment being passed on to conservatives with fake stories from these people. Rules for radicals. Rules for radicals says accuse your opponent of doing what you're doing, and that's what they've been doing for a long time over at CNN. So we're at the beginning of the fake news media. The View's part of it. CNN is the leader of the fake news mainstream corporate media. We're going to start to see a change in the news. This slanderous business that's going on in the news is going to maybe not completely stop against Republicans, but it's going to be slowed down quite a bit. They've had complete, a lot of these lunatics over at CNN have been allowed free rein to do what they're doing because they had something over Jeff Zucker. He was their protector. Well, those days seem to be over. We're going to take our first break of the day. I want to hear your calls on all of this. These people, think about what CNN has been doing against President Trump all these years, right? The months of the fake Stormy Daniels porn lawyer. Remember all that? And, the story with Stormy Daniels was fake, wasn't true. But do you remember what the worst thing with Stormy Daniels that they accused Donald Trump of? It was not true. But what did they accuse him of? They accused him of having a consensual sexual relationship with Stormy Daniels, which did not happen. But they were accusing him of having a one-time consensual sexual affair, and they had like a year of programming with Michael Avenatti in studio all the time. Meanwhile, Jeff Zucker's promoting a girl just because they're having sex. Our number's toll free. I want to hear from you guys on the phones about this. This is a big deal. Don't let them tell you, two consenting adults, nothing to see here, move along. That's their story. We've got the real story here. Our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back right after this.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes.
That's right.
Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
I love my MyPillow towels. Unlike other towels, the MyPillow towel absorbs. They're soft to the touch. They come with a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Mike Lindell says towels that actually work. What a concept. But don't just take my word for it. Christine from Pennsylvania called live on the radio and shared her experience with her MyPillow towels.
I was just going to say, I bought the MyPillow, my towels, a couple weeks ago, and they are fabulous. They are the best towels I've ever used. They're just the right amount of thickness. They're not too thin, they're not too thick, and they're a great length. They're like longer than your average towel, and they are fabulous, luxurious.
You know, what's amazing to me about the MyPillow towels, Mike Lindell's a genius with his inventions. It absorbs the water, and the towel's not soaking wet after.
Yes, exactly.
You know, other towels, the water just kind of lays on top of them. They don't absorb it, and you're just smothering water, smearing it around on your body. Not with the
Exactly.
MyPillow towels. What color did you get?
I got the sage green.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
I'm going to order because I love purple, and I'm going to have to get a purple.
Man, my wife's ordering the purple too. And she says it doesn't match our bathrooms, but she likes the purple anyway, so we're getting purple.
Who cares?
Exactly. Exactly. All right, Christine, thank you so much. The MyPillow towels are normally $109.99, but with our promo code at checkout, Kane, K-A-N-E, just $39.99. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879.
Oh, you should call me on the air about them, Rose.
1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Oh, man. Boy, oh boy, yeah, Mike Lindell, the second most persecuted man in America after President Trump. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. We're talking about this CNN's latest scandal with Jeff Zucker. Will Brian Stelter be fired next? You know, CNN, I got a personal beef with CNN because of the slanderous narratives against our president, President Trump, and other things they've done. CNN tried to get me arrested once. Some of you may remember this. I wasn't going to tell this story, but I think people need to know what kind of sleaze buckets you have over there at CNN. After the Parkland shooting, CNN's town hall that they had here in South Florida, I went to the CNN televised town hall with the great Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer, awesome Laura Loomer. And the treatment that Laura Loomer received and I received, I was nervous. They intimidated us. It was Jake Tapper hosted it, and we were identified when we first arrived at the venue, and we sat down. They told us where to sit. We sat down, and then they had these two, CNN got these two huge guys to sit next to us and in front of us, intimidating Laura Loomer and myself throughout the entire town hall. And during the commercials, because this was live on CNN, during the commercials, the people would get up and try to trigger Laura Loomer and myself, threatening us, there was one woman behind me who said, "Oh, Brian Craig, if I would love to put my hands around your throat and choke you right now." Can you believe this? Can you believe this? And there was a guy there behind us too. He said to her, "I'm an attorney. I'll represent you if you do it." During the commercial breaks, the CNN town hall, they would have people stand up, turn around, and try to stare us down. This went on for a couple hours. This was a televised event. And when we left, when the event was over and the television cameras were off, and Laura Loomer and I were leaving, and they were screaming profanities at us. And I told Laura Loomer, I said, "Laura, CNN's going to get us arrested. That cop up there's waiting to arrest us. And we didn't do anything. We're just there at the town hall. And I live in this community, by the way. You know, and I'm part of the town." And we're walking up there, and I told Laura, I said, we're gonna get arrested by CNN. That cop's waiting for us. So I did a preemptive move. I walked in front of Laura, and I said to the police officer, I said, "Hello, officer, how you doing?" He says, "I'm all right, Brian." He said, "I'm going to call you tomorrow after you get off the air and tell you what happened." With him so we could talk off the air. CNN, one of the producers, called the police officer over and told them to remove us from the venue. And the police officer, who's obviously a MAGA guy, knew me from the radio. And he told me the whole story. He says, "You don't want to do that." I say this often. The news are not in the business of reporting news. The news are in the business of covering up news and crafting false narratives to fit the agenda of the Democrat Party and the deep state. That's what CNN has been doing. And they're not alone. Other members of the liberal mainstream media do the exact same thing that they're doing on CNN. But now we have an opportunity to turn things around. And this scandal with Jeff Zucker, and I'll tell you this, I was talking about this on my podcast last night. What do you know about Jeff Zucker? Right? This is what you know. He's a terrible person, a nasty man. He's also, until yesterday, a powerful man running CNN. You also know this. He's incredibly unattractive. You tell me, ladies. Is he the kind of guy you would date? Does he fit the... where does Jeff Zucker fit on the attractive meter to you ladies out there? There is no way in hell a guy like this, no way, has just one lady on the side. First off, this affair was going on when he was married. It led to his divorce and her divorce. Once a cheater, always a cheater. When someone is rich, powerful, and ugly, like Jeff Zucker, they have sugar babies all over town, okay? And when Megyn Kelly told Eric Bolling on Newsmax TV yesterday that there are many more shoes to drop, she knows. She's just waiting for some reporting and some confirmations with different sources and all of that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to find out that this guy's got all kinds of scandals going on with other women. And you know what? Things are going to get really nasty with his girlfriend here, the vice president of marketing or PR, whatever the hell she does at CNN. When the stories come out about the other women, and there always are other women with guys like this, when all this comes out, the big divide is his girlfriend's going to get pissed off. His former mistress, current girlfriend, the mistress doesn't like it when there are other mistresses, when there are mistresses behind her back. So this is going to be a big, big deal. And we got new management at CNN now. We knew there were changes coming. Now there's going to be a house cleaning. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm going to get into some of the audio on this. CNN, oh my goodness, CNN, what a bunch of lowlifes over there at CNN. Allison Camerata and Brian Stelter in particular, we'll hear from after the break. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Back right after this.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. We needed a new roof, and we knew we needed a new roof, but we just...
Who feels sorry for Jeff Zucker?
Wet spots on the ceilings.
Somebody said, don't feel sorry. Who feels sorry for Jeff Zucker?
Free roof inspection, which he does for everybody, not just us. And sure enough, we needed a new roof. We had a mold problem.
Gail from Australia. Welcome, Australia.
He dealt with our HOA association. He fixed...
What's the lockdown situation where you're at in Australia, Gail?
Took care of the ceiling stains. So they removed all the popcorn. They cleaned everything up. They painted. They sealed inside and out. Everything is beautiful. And I have to tell you, when we get those hard South Florida rainstorms, it is such a pleasure to listen to the raindrops on the roof and not have to worry about it leaking or causing further problems. The staff was courteous. Tom answered every question. Call Tom Laporta for a free roof inspection. He does residential and commercial properties, and his cell number is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Make sure you tell him Lori Kane sent you.
You know, you guys on YouTube, if you want to support the program, I do have a Patreon, and there is a link. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the YouTube description, and there are perks to becoming a Patreon supporter. You'll see them there, but there's a link in the YouTube description to my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/RealBrianCraigShow, but it is linked up in there.
State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the BioStation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Well, Con, if you feel so passionate about that, why don't you leave, since you're using it?
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Itchy Brain, $5 super chat. Thank you, everyone. Thank Itchy Brain. It's Florida's longest running radio show. The Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977. This year, celebrating 45 years on the radio. The Steve Kane Radio Show. All right, we're talking about what's this Jeff Zucker, the latest sex scandal. It might be easier if they started telling us who at CNN is not involved in a sex scandal. That might be a little easier. Yeah. Okay. I tell you, this is wild stuff, people. This is wild stuff. So CNN, who has been the star chamber of morality in American society, basically CNN is like the Spanish Inquisition, telling us who the heretics are all the time, right? Trump, Sarah Palin, whoever the en vogue conservative is at the time, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they won't carry the Trump rallies. They're morally superior. The Capitol breachers are insurrectionists, all this business. And then we see what they're doing. We see what CNN's all about. Let me play some audio here. Let's hear from... I'll do it in reverse. Let's hear from Brian Stelter. Brian Stelter. You know what I dislike the most about Brian Stelter is that his name is Brian. It pains me. Pains me to have the same name as Brian Stelter. Here's Brian Stelter on the Jeff Zucker. They call him Zucker, I learned yesterday. His name is Zucker. It looks like Zucker to me. I'm going to continue to call him Jeff Zucker. Because isn't that what you guys call him? I mean, I thought that's how it's spelled. But anyway, here's Brian Stelter talking about what happened here.
The Chris Cuomo reference. Cuomo was fired in December, and he is not going out quietly. He was fired, and there were reports that he wasn't going to get paid the millions of dollars that were going to be on the remainder of his contract. So as a source said to me earlier today, he was trying to burn the place down. He was...
What source? What source? Are you the source? Since you work there, Brian Stelter, aren't you your own source? The person in the office next door to you? Who's your source?
The Chris Cuomo reference. Cuomo was fired in December, and he is not going out quietly. He was fired, and there were reports that he wasn't going to get paid the millions of dollars that were going to be on the remainder of his contract. So as a source said to me earlier today, he was trying to burn the place down. He was...
A source. That's somebody at the CNN urinal next to him.
He was going to court trying to burn the place down and claiming that he had incriminating information about Zucker and Gullist. So if that's the case, if this is a domino effect that begins with Andrew Cuomo going down in the governor's office, and then Chris Cuomo being fired from CNN, and then Jeff Zucker losing his job at CNN, that is a remarkable domino effect, a chain of events. I think that is part of the story.
Okay, it is part of the story, and you're part of the story too, Waterboy, for Jeff Zucker. And, you know, now we're finding out, this is interesting, that Jeff Zucker's sugar baby, girlfriend here, that she is connected to Governor Cuomo. And if you got to think about this now. President Trump coined a phrase, fake news. Nobody talked about fake news before President Trump. President Trump's brilliant at whatever he gets involved in. He's just the best. And one of the things that he's really, really good at is branding. And CNN, he's branded them fake news. And it's an interesting thing. You know, at the 2 years ago, at the beginning of the pandemic, times were scary. Were you guys scared when the world was getting shut down? I was scared. What did Jeff Zucker do over at CNN? They hate Trump. I don't know why he hated Trump, Jeff Zucker, but he hates him. What did he do? What Jeff Zucker did was start to make it appear that Governor Cuomo was the leader of this country, and to undermine President Trump, carried live the Governor Cuomo press conferences. Many other problems too, but remember that? To undermine President Trump, they had these long, 2.5 hour long Governor Cuomo press conferences every morning around 11-ish. You know? Here we are during a global pandemic with the economy of the planet being shut down. People scared. They couldn't get their toilet paper. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what was going on. You know? And CNN still putting out fake news to undermine Trump because of the Trump derangement syndrome. You know, big question here is, you know, this NBC had the same problem with Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer, that had a lock on the inside of his office that he had a button to do on his desk. Remember this? He had a special lock where he could lock things from his... Three mainstream news sources of record, NBC, CNN, and ABC, all involved in, if it's not anti-Semitic Holocaust denial at ABC, it's sexual disgust and immorality at CNN and NBC. And they were putting out all these false narratives about every Republican who was ever in a position of prominence, including our great President Donald Trump. These are the people that have been driving this country and the world into all kinds of different directions on everything. And who does Brian Stelter blame? A disgruntled former employee, Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo, he's like, what are you picking on me for? Jeff Zucker, he's a sugar daddy to this woman. He made her vice president. I'm just trying to help out my brother, and he's taking $18 million from me? Who does he think he is? And Chris Cuomo, you know what he has to lose? What does Chris Cuomo have to lose? Nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose, Chris Cuomo. And Chris Cuomo knows a lot. And you know what? He's got more to tell. Oh, yeah. He's got a lot more to tell. And we're going to hear it, too. And he's been doing it in sworn depositions in this severance pay. Boy, did Jeff Zucker screw up firing Chris Cuomo, but he's helped the country. Jeff Zucker's a son. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including a primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital.
Thank you, Rome, Wisconsin.
Is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345
WWNN on iHeartRadio.
You can sign up online.
Two W's, two N's on iHeartRadio.
Advocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection.
While that is true, Doom, what those people have that I don't is a staff of people. I'm all by myself doing everything, and which includes running the radio station broadcast with my huge control board here and all the radio controls and everything else. So I'm stretched pretty thin.
Dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All righty. 47 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We're talking about the latest sex scandal. There have been several at CNN, and what this means for the fake news media. And I'm going to tell you where I think this is leading. CNN is under new management, and the people that run CNN also run Sirius XM. And have you noticed who's been all over media since this story broke yesterday, giving interviews, including having their own show? Megyn Kelly. That's right, Megyn Kelly. And I'm telling you, I think Megyn Kelly is going to end up back on television at CNN. And, listen, they're not going to be some right-wing network over at CNN. But bringing down CNN from their fake news, fake narratives is going to be a major, major help to this country because they are a poison place. Daily Mail reporting, a cable news veteran who wishes not to be named spoke of the close relationship between Brian Stelter and Jeff Zucker. Brian Stelter should be calling his agent. Excuse me, guys. Let me have a drink of my coffee. Hold on, guys. I apologize. I would usually do this during the break. My apologies. A cable news veteran who wishes not to be named spoke of the close relationship between Brian Stelter and Jeff Zucker. Brian Stelter should be calling his agent to start looking for another job. The unnamed cable news veteran from CNN said he's been Jeff Zucker's water boy for years, and no one believes he did not know about all of this. The source added that Brian Stelter often criticizes competing networks like Fox News, One American News, and Newsmax, too. He's been sitting on his moral high horse doing Jeff Zucker's bidding and ripping Fox News and every other media outlet that Jeff Zucker tells him to while his ratings crash and burn. Where was he on the biggest story at his own network? Since taking the helm in 2013, CNN has reportedly not seen any ratings improvement, losing audience share, independent viewers, and ratings. In fact, there was a story yesterday. I didn't get to this on the show yesterday, but there was a story yesterday. I'm sure you heard it on Fox because it was about Fox, and I imagine they did a lot on this story yesterday, that Tucker Carlson has more Democrats watching him than CNN. And I did watch the 5 actually a little bit, and I did yesterday, and I did hear them say that they were a little upset that Jeff Zucker was not fired for their low ratings. See, CNN, the owners of CNN in the past have not cared about ratings. They care about pursuing narratives. Pursuing narratives. And you know. Megyn Kelly, yeah, I know she had that problem with Trump, you know, but Megyn Kelly, her life has been defined by rooting out these sleazy newsrooms. And I listened to her quite closely yesterday. Did any of you guys catch Megyn Kelly on Eric Bolling yesterday? And Megyn Kelly's saying what we're all saying. These are the people that are defining our society in these scummy newsrooms. She brought down Roger Ailes, very powerful man. She brought down Roger Ailes, and her whole identity is wrapped up in cleaning up sleazeballs and sleazy swingers clubs that are called America's newsrooms. And having Megyn Kelly go over to CNN, oh, that'd be great. I know she does. I know she's got her problems with Trump, but in the big picture, she doesn't mess around. She cleans house. And what people are going to start to do, the reason Megyn Kelly was all over television yesterday is because she knows there's a lot of skeletons now. And now that Zucker's gone, the rats are running, right? She is doing shout-outs for people at CNN and elsewhere to contact her to have another wave of scandals that she is responsible for exposing. This is such a great time. And you know, it couldn't happen at a better time because we're at the very beginning of the midterm election year, which is when cable news become ratings powerhouses. And this cleanup of the Trump derangement syndrome scum sufferers over there at CNN, their reign is over, and there's going to be big changes. They're talking about some guy that replaced Zucker at NBC coming over. There's going to be big changes at CNN, and so goes CNN, goes the rest of the mainstream corporate media. Now, those of you that have been calling, I apologize for not getting to your calls. Feel free to call in at 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Now, listen. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. There is no better gift for Valentine's Day than the wonderful, beautiful products at MyPillow.com. And when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, there are huge savings. I'm just going to start telling you, the MyPillow bathrobe. My wife and I got each other the MyPillow bathrobes for Valentine's Day last year. And they're 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. All the sizes, all the colors are in. They have many new colors, a lot of new colors, and they also have a new style robe. The one that I have and my wife have is the heavy robe. They now have the lighter robe, and they're all 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout. And his and hers MyPillow bathrobes make perfect gifts for Valentine's. In fact, that Valentine's Day gift last year, the his and her bathrobes that my wife and I got each other, out of all the Valentines we've spent together, I think that is the only Valentine's Day gift that I can remember giving her and receiving from her. So, because these MyPillow bathrobes, as with all the MyPillow products, very high quality, built to last, and it's something that you use all the time and remember. These are great gifts. Plus, you're supporting the great Mike Lindell that the left are trying to cancel, and you're supporting the Steve Kane Show too with the promo code Kane. So the MyPillow bathrobes, 40% off. The Giza Dream Sheets, I have 4 sets of these, both regular. We have 2 sets of regular and 2 sets of the flannel 100% Giza cotton Dream Sheets. Save up to, listen to this, save 60% off the MyPillow 100% Giza cotton sheets. 60% off with the promo code Kane. Prices as low as $39.99. That's a great deal. Now, when you go to MyPillow.com, if you click on the radio listener specials, there's some incredible deals there, including 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. Many different styles and colors for men and women, the My Slippers. 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, there are lots of other specials there. Whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. A lot of people, they say, well, why do you watch this? Why do you watch CNN? Why do you watch Fox? Because I'm in the business of knowing what is going on. I've got to consume as much news as I can. And I watch and consume as much news and information as I possibly can. It's a lifestyle. That's how you do this kind of job. And watching CNN, it's like having a spy in the enemy headquarters, because they tell you right on the air what they're all about and what they got. Now, I don't watch MSNBC. I can't tolerate that. And I do watch CNN in small doses only. The View I never watch. Never, unless they have a celebrity guest like from Star Trek or Star Wars I want to see. I don't watch The View. I hear about scummy things that I need to know what these people are doing. I need to know what is going on. That's why I watch some people on Fox News that I don't particularly care about. And it's also important not to get all your news and information just from people you agree with. But you need to have a well-rounded bunch of information, come to your own conclusions. But I'm a Newsmax TV guy. I keep Newsmax TV on all the time. If I were not in this business, right, radio show, podcast, YouTube, and all that stuff, I'd probably just watch Newsmax TV, but I need to know what is going on all over the place. Even what I read online, I don't just go to conservative sources. The vast majority of my news that I consume online is from conservative sources, but I still check out Huffington Post and BuzzFeed and liberal sources like that too. And this story came from a fringe group. That Radar Online is where the Zucker story came from. So it's okay to expose yourself to news and media that you disagree with. We don't want to be like the left, and only be exposed to one type of idea, one thought process. That's just me. But then again, you're not me, so you can do whatever you want. But I'm required to watch all this stuff and follow it. Maybe I do it so you all don't have to sometimes. You know what I mean? Oh man! Now, for those that are new to the program, the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. This year, celebrating 45 years on the radio. We're on the radio live Monday through Friday from 6 until 9 a.m. We broadcast on 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, and AM 1470. We're also on the air from midnight till 6 a.m., which is an overnight rebroadcast of our live show the morning before. So Monday through Friday, the Steve Kane Show, we are actually on the radio from midnight until 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. That's right. We're also on the air overnights on the weekends as well. And not only can you listen to us on the radio, you can also listen to us on the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app. You can hook it up to the Bluetooth of your car, And you can find us on those apps by searching for our station call letters WWNN. That's 2 W's and 2 N's, WWNN on iHeartRadio or the TuneIn app. And you can also watch us live in high definition on your telephone. You can on your telephone, yeah, your cell phone, your television, your computer, your iPad. You can watch us on YouTube, where we have a very active and opinionated chat room. Just search Brian Craig or Brian Craig Show on YouTube, and you'll see us come up there. All right. Well, let me take a call or two, then we'll break. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jessica, Delaware.
Hey, Jessica in Delaware.
Caller. Your leftist caller checking in.
Oh, hey. Okay. So what's on your mind, leftist caller from Delaware?
I heard you say that the left don't listen to both sides, and just wanted to raise my hand and say I'm here listening.
Yeah. Why are you a liberal?
Because we're more open-minded.
Give me an example of something specific that makes you a liberal and reject conservatism.
Well, I feel like you guys have a lot of race issues.
Race issues. Give me an example.
I feel like some of the stuff that comes out of your guys' mouth, and you might not mean it.
Give me an example. Are you talking about me in particular?
No, not you.
Oh, not me. Okay, give me an example of a racist viewpoint held by Republicans.
Okay, I don't know if it's their viewpoint, but it might be the way it comes out and it's said. For example, when they're saying the January 6th people are treated so awfully in the jails. Do you know how many black people are treated awfully in the jails? Like, this has been something going on for a long time. It's not just white people being treated awfully.
Oh, well, they don't say white people are being treated unfairly. You're talking about President Trump. They're saying the Capitol breachers from January 6th are being treated poorly. And that is true. You're the one that injected race into that, but there's a difference, okay? The black men and women that are in America's prisons, you say they're treated poorly. What is the difference between the incarcerated black people you're referencing in our prisons and the January 6th? Let me ask the question, then answer it, okay? This isn't Jeopardy. You don't have to buzz in before the other contestants. Explain to me the difference when President Trump says the January 6th prisoners are being treated unfairly. What is the difference between a black man or woman incarcerated in a federal prison or a state penitentiary as opposed to the January 6th protesters at the D.C. Gitmo? What is the difference in those situations that makes them say they're unfairly being treated?
That's my question, because it's not just the January 6th people.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer your question. This is the difference. The people you were talking about in the prisons, right, as opposed to the January 6th protesters in the D.C. Gitmo, the people in the prisons have received due process, trial, probably by, they're not political prisoners. They are people that have been in a court of law and have been convicted of crimes. The people, the January 6th protesters that President Trump is talking about, many of them have been in jail for a year and have not had a trial. They've not had and everyone's guaranteed to that, and there's other problems too, but that's the difference.
Look at Steve Donziger. Look at the Steve Donziger case. There is a bigger issue.
I don't know who that is.
Who went against Chevron.
The person who went against Chevron. You know, there's the question was, what makes you a liberal, a Democrat, and not a conservative? And I feel that you don't have a reason.
Steve Bannon, partial, under the cover, in the closet.
You're a what?
But I am the undercover in the closet. I've come here before.
Oh, you're a fake liberal. So you're really a conservative, you're telling me? What does that mean? Are you a liberal or a conservative? Do you even know now? You're a liberal.
I'm a progressive.
You're a progressive. Tell me something about the Democrats that makes you support them. Give me an example of something the Democrats support today that makes you support them as opposed to Republicans like President Trump. specific issue.
I'm very angry at the Democrats, and that's why I am...
Okay, so you don't like the Democrats. You don't even know why you're a liberal. You don't even know why. Like, I'll tell you why. I'm a conservative for many, many reasons. I'm a conservative for many, many reasons. Right now, do you know what season this is? What season are we in? And I'm not talking about the weather. No, not winter. What's...
I don't know.
See, you're a liberal, so you don't know about these things. We're in tax season. And people like myself that work very, very hard, very, very long hours, 7 days a week, this is the time of year where we've got to pay taxes for a bunch of liberal freeloaders.
Oh, so we also have to pay taxes. What do you mean? Is that just a trope that the liberals don't work? Everybody works.
Uh-huh. Well, there's a difference in working and paying income tax, and there's also a difference in paying taxes and advocating for more taxes for freeloaders, like the hundreds of thousands of people that Biden and Kamala are bringing across the border, flying first class and putting in hotels.
Not either.
Well, then you keep telling us what you don't support among the Democrats. So why are you one of them?
Oh, I'm upset with the Democrats.
All right, I got to run for a break. I'm late. Thanks for the call. Very confused. She's a liberal. She can't define why. We'll be back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going around, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Oh, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of
Steve
Boca
Kane Show.
is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll-free. Dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now...
All right, hour number 2 has begun. 7 after 7. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm looking out the window. The sun is rising above the beach right now. Just saw it. Now I got spots in front of my eyes because I looked directly into the sun. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, that last caller right before the top of the hour, which actually ran through the top of the hour because I took the break 5 minutes late. I lost track of time with her. And I know a lot of new listeners, I'm looking in the chat room on YouTube, they're like, why are you wasting time talking to a liberal? That's no waste of time. That was not a waste of time. That was a very constructive conversation. She doesn't realize it, and it wasn't constructed because of her. It was constructed because of, well, me. But what came out of that? She says, I'm a liberal. Check it in from Delaware. Why are you a liberal? She tells us something she doesn't like about Republicans. I ask her a couple. This is the deal. Most people who identify as liberal, most people who identify as Democrats are not really liberals or not really Democrats. They just don't know any different. They think they are. But most of them agree with us. I started bringing things up about the freeloaders from the southern border that Biden's bringing. Oh, I don't support that. I brought up something. I don't support what they're doing. When you talk to most Democrats, you find out they're not really Democrats. They're not really liberals. They just think they are. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano.
All right, Ben in Pompano, what's up?
I just want to comment on the liberal caller who called in. I used to be a card-carrying Democrat until 2017, and then I got pretty red-pilled. And one of the things I noticed with Democrats is they're like really, really numerically and statistically illiterate. Like when you ask them like how many African Americans are killed a year, they highly overestimate it. When you ask them how many people actually die when they catch COVID, they highly overestimate it. They create this.
Well, that's because the reality comes from Jeff Zucker's CNN. That is a place. It's a swingers club for a newsroom that spreads misinformation and fake news, and they get all their information from these people that are sex freaks and masturbate to coworkers on Zoom video calls. So they don't. They don't know what they're talking about.
No, they don't, and that's kind of the reason I left. They just realized they weren't.
I asked her what season it was, and I'm not talking about the weather, and she says winter. Any conservative you ask that question, it's tax season, right? You know. But she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know.
It's easy to be compassionate when other people are footing the bill, and that's what they have no problem.
Isn't it? Oh yeah.
So, but that was just it really shouldn't surprise anyone when, like, you drill down on the issue.
Well, okay, you were a liberal till 2017, not long ago. What woke you up, and what got you out of that liberal mindset?
So I guess I would say I was like, I was a classical liberal. I believed in free speech, due process, like a la like a lot of people, in like the 60s, like the old school liberal, but then they just got more left and left and left.
There wasn't like a defining issue? There wasn't one issue? There wasn't one thing where it's like, enough of this?
It was chipped away. Well, critical race theory was it was like I had to sit through a lot of equity trainings, and I'm like, this is insane, and it's...
How old are you? I'm
31, so I'm
31.
I'm back in...
Oh, okay, yeah. 30. Are you married, have kids?
No.
You're a single guy? Have a girlfriend? Well, I'll tell you, for me, I used to be a liberal too, and I was on the radio for many years. I was a liberal. I grew up. But what really turned me around, and people will say, oh, you're so selfish. The first year that I did taxes and I owed money, the first year I didn't get a return, I owed money. In fact, I redid my taxes. I thought this was wrong, And then I realized, well, wait a minute, I'm getting up in the middle of the night and I owe money. All these freeloaders. That was the main. There were other factors, but that was the main. That when I had skin in the game, but that was the big thing that woke me up.
Yeah, well, I was in Seattle before I came here, and just seeing the double standards and how they really never cared about like fighting like truth to power. They only were upset that they didn't have the power. So, you see the place, like Rage Against the Machine, like classic 90s, like fight the system. And then once, their ideology is in power, they want to, like, same with the truckers. Like, these are workers uniting against the government, and now they're trying to shut them down with the military. However, in Chaz Chop Zone in Seattle, they surrounded a police station. They didn't care.
Well, what happened with you're not putting, the human brain fully develops around the age of 25 years old. So what happened is your brain completed its development. And as soon as your brain became an adult, you became a conservative. And I'm not, you think I'm kidding? And a lot of people that are older, that are Democrats, I'm not talking about the politicians because they're in it for the money like Biden. They're just, crooks. I'm talking about voters, regular voters like you and me. you will find with most people that are liberal voters, not people in the media, not politicians, people like that last lady, they're in a state of arrested development. They never matured. There's some immorality in their life that drives them to that. Maybe they terminated a pregnancy, something. There's something going on in their life. They haven't grown up, right? Arrested development, some immorality in their life, and that's why they're a liberal, not a conservative. A lot of them have daddy issues too, because conservatives and Trump represent a father figure that they're rejecting and rebelling against still.
Yeah, there's been plenty of studies that come out and say, like, as far as mental illnesses go, people who identify as progressives on the left are the group that have the highest rate of, like, taking Prozac, mental illness, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it really isn't a surprise. And I'll also just say one more thing in regard to the caller is, ask her how her side treats people like Larry Elder or any African-American who comes out and thinks for themselves, and see who the real racists are, or discrimination against Asians in the Harvard. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when it comes to racism, they're the true.
In fact, the Harvard admission, and this is what I do. There is one place in our society that everyone agrees is dominated by liberals, the university system. If the university system, if it is the liberal utopia run by liberals throughout, why do they need affirmative action? Should they not already have the appropriate number of black people, women, gays, Asians? Why do you need affirmative action in a place that's completely 100% run by liberals, right? And the university says, I can only conclude that they're bigots.
When I was in Seattle, the drumbeat that everyone would march to is
Steve Kane Show.
Racists everywhere, and it'd be like, how is there racists everywhere?
Steve Kane Show.
Everyone is against racism. Like, where are these phantoms that they keep looking for? That like everyone is openly against it, but yet we need to continually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they live in a pseudo reality. That's the thing. They're untethered from reality, and that's one of the reasons.
That's right. Well, you're in Pompano, which means you're in the same neck of the woods as our great president, Donald Trump, who's just right up the road in Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. All right, take care, man. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Candy and Margate.
Hey, Margate, what's up?
So, in a nutshell, in regards to the liberal caller that you had, I believe what she was trying to express and that she couldn't get across is that she's possibly one of the progressive liberals that there are out there. There's a lot of deviation within the Democratic Party, people who do not agree with them on every single front.
A progressive liberal? What? Okay, this is a new term to me. What is a progressive liberal, and how does it differ specifically from just a regular liberal?
So progressive liberals have the potential to vote Republican on certain issues.
Do you happen to be a progressive liberal?
I am not personally, but I know because
You can't be both. No, you can't be both. There's no such thing as a progressive liberal, just like these Democrat socialists. There's no such thing as that either. Okay?
People like Jimmy Dore. You look at people like...
Who? Jimmy who? Who's Jimmy Dore? Are you the lady from Delaware? Because she mentioned this Jimmy Dore guy too. Who's Jimmy Dore? She mentioned his Jimmy Dore character too. I have no idea who this is.
On a lot of political issues. He has a platform on YouTube and various other platforms.
Okay, so what you're talking about doesn't exist. Like a lot of people say, like I'm a fiscal conservative, but a bleeding heart liberal socially. You can't. They conflict.
Conservative, but I watch these people because I like getting other perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm seeing is, and in particular, even if you look at Tim Cass, he's also...
All right, give me an example. Take this bizarre thing. You know, I don't know who this guy you're talking about is. If he calls himself a... Is a bisexual person to you gay?
I mean, honestly, I don't know.
You don't know. If somebody... Okay, to me, someone who's bisexual is gay because they have sex with someone of the same sex. That makes them gay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that a bisexual person is gay. A progressive liberal, you're telling me about someone who's progressive on some things but conservative on another. Give me an example Give me. I want to hear any of these. I don't know if it's this guy you're talking about. A progressive liberal. Give me an example of a liberal position they have and a conservative position that makes them a progressive liberal. This new label.
So now, example.
Specific.
Or, yeah. So example, Jimmy Dore. He has his positions on things. Well, I could speak.
Give me a conservative position they have and a liberal position.
So Tim Cass, also known as Tim Pool, he's a reporter.
I know who Tim Pool is.
Okay, yes. So he supports, for example, Andrew Yang. He has the whole thing with the income-based, whatever, giving people.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, Tim Pool. Okay, so Tim Pool is what you would call a progressive liberal. He's liberal on some things and conservative on others. I'll tell you. You know why that is?
In 2020.
And you know why that is? He's not a conservative liberal. You know what Tim Pool is? Rich. He got rich. He got famous on the Occupy Wall Street stuff he was doing. He was with Vice Media or something. He's a liberal, okay, but he got rich. He makes a lot. He's a millionaire. He lives in a mansion, okay? And he's also a child because he has like a skate park at his mansion and everything else. So this is the deal. He's a liberal. He's also bald, by the way, if you ever see him without his cap. He wears the cap to cover up his bald head. He's trying to look cool, but he's really bald. But anyway, he's a liberal. He's not a conservative, but like a liberal who supports all these progressive things on taxes and everything, he wants to keep his money. And so he is someone who calls himself fiscally conservative because he came into a boatload of money and he doesn't want to give it to a bunch of freeloaders. But he's not, and that's the way it is. You're either a liberal or you're not. You're either a conservative or you're not. It's just like someone, Andrew Dice Clay. I can't use his words, but in a stand-up act in the 80s and 90s, he had a bit in his routine about bisexuals. I can't say it on the radio. There's bisexual people are gay. They're bisexual, but they're gay. There's no such thing as someone who is fiscally conservative but socially liberal, because the socially liberal part takes government money. Okay? So it's an impossibility. So you have a bunch of phonies that want to play both sides to bring people to them as well, and being pro-Trump is also good for the business for Tim Pool and others.
But I also believe that, if we are going to bring people to our side, we have to also kind of meet them halfway, and if there's issues that we can get them on and get them to vote red.
Oh, okay. What issues should I compromise to bring some liberal loon over to our side?
Compromising, but every person has their push button thing that they're like, man, these Democrats are crazy. And there's the time where you could come in and be like, hey, come over and vote this way, and we're going to try and do this, this, and this, and we're going to bring this forward.
No, we don't compromise. We don't compromise. We're conservative. We're conservative, America first. There's no compromise.
Oh, no. When I say compromise, I mean in the sense of every person has their issue. There's always an issue that they're not going to be 100% on with the Democrats because they're so extreme. So when you see those loopholes where you can pull them to our side, then you can use that to your advantage to have us get more votes, is what I'm saying.
No, there's no. I disagree. We stand for what we stand for, and if they don't, we don't want them around. Because if you start bringing these liberal people. If you start bringing liberal people into the fold, all of a sudden we're not conservative anymore, we're liberal. Listen, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call from Margate. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a break and be right back.
With diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation.
Steve Kane Show.
Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. the Soul Authority. At little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All righty. 24 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Richie the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Yeah, I heard a lady call you up, and she sounded so confused, and every time you try to put it to, the bottom line is this. If you're a liberal, okay, that's your choice. But you have to look at this whole country as a whole. How is this country being run right now? I mean, look at it. It starts with Afghanistan, the withdrawal, and now they find out that a day before he had no plan whatsoever, just pulled him out, didn't have any plan.
Are you talking about Biden in Afghanistan? What are you talking about, Biden in Afghanistan? Here's what happened with Biden in Afghanistan, okay? Joe Biden is suffering from severe age-related dementia, whether it is Alzheimer's or what. And he's out of it and frustrated. And what happened in Afghanistan is because he threw a fit. You may have seen this video yesterday. It's frightening to see of Jill Biden walking Biden off stage yesterday. He couldn't even stand up or even knew where he was going. It was like a blind man, and he hardly. He had a senile moment where he had to show everybody that he has his wits about him, and gave an order that got people killed and hundreds held hostage by the Taliban, and that was the withdrawal from Afghanistan. It was his senility and Alzheimer's or whatever he has that caused a fit. You generals aren't going to tell me I'm the guy, I'm the president, and he did it, and
yeah, it was an American disgrace.
It's beyond that. It was American death, right? The service personnel at the airport, the Americans left behind, and others. I mean, it's just and this is, well, that's what, but it's a big thing if you lost your kid.
Yeah, and then you go.
Jacqueline, $20 super chat. Thank you. Everyone, thank Jacqueline. I respect your stand and unwavering. Makes me think of George Washington. Absolutely, thanks, Jacqueline.
I mean, people got to be living. We're living this horror right now, and I'm gonna throw something out that you're gonna, and it has a lot to do with what's going on with the.
This is when he's going to change the subject.
I want her to look at the jobs report Friday because Dan Bongino has the inside information. They lost jobs. They were supposed to gain 200,000 jobs. They were in the hole. They lost. The country's is falling apart for her.
Well, there's a big thing going on in this country with jobs. Everywhere you go, there's help wanted signs. The young people that have retail jobs and other things, for some reason, either do not want to work, don't have to work, or have found other ways to make money that doesn't involve working. The workforce has shrunk because so many young people won't go and take the jobs, and I see this all over the place.
Yeah, you go to restaurants and they blame everything on COVID. Everything on COVID. And this lady that's a liberal, just look at who ran the country before. You probably hated them and you don't even know why you hate them.
Yeah, and she's, when I ask her what season it is, and she says winter, I mean, my goodness. That tells you someone that doesn't have any worries about the tax season. It's just another day.
It's the hypocrisy that the American people are finally waking up to see all this crap that's going on. You know, I mean, it's gotten that completely upside down. We've seen it for a long time, but the average person, like that lady, that feels that we're not compassionate and we're not worried about black people in jails. I mean, she has no idea.
Well, like I said, most people that are liberal are not really liberal. They don't know it. They don't know. All they have is the CNN stereotype of what conservatives are and what conservative positions are. Most people that identify as liberals are not really liberals.
Common sense, though. So she brought up the fact that we don't care about the black people in jail, which and believe it or not, the race is on the other side. It's constant. It's always this guy's white, this guy's person of color. That doesn't come from conservatives. But if you're going to be like the lady, she ought to run for a political office. She ought to actually be an attorney that prosecutes.
Yeah, that would involve work. You know, that would involve work. And you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? She's as a white liberal, she's got all this passion for black people. You know, I had a poll yesterday from Rasmussen. 50% of black likely voters say they want Joe Biden impeached and removed from office. So you know, so she's out of touch with blacks.
Suffering from white guilt. That's probably from the college. I mean, you got to figure that's what she got.
She sound like a college grad. I don't know. She's from Delaware. That's Biden country.
Biden country. Listen, I'm not really an educated man. I'm a person of the streets, and I'm street smart. I see. It's not a matter of Democrat and Republican. I've seen a total change in the Democratic Party over the last 30 years, and Obama was the beginning of it. He wanted to transform this country, and he's really made a mess of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the third term of Obama.
That's right. That's right. All right, Richie the bus driver, take care. And you know, Richie the bus driver, I used to ride his bus. I did. He drove for Broward County, and before I had a car, I used to take the bus with my friends to the beach, to the mall, to the movies. And I was on Richie's bus many times, and he doesn't remember me, but I remember him, because even when he was a bus driver, he had a big mouth. You always knew. And it was so fun. When he was just talking to me, I just had a memory pop in my mind of sitting on the bus one day and him just jibber-jabbering about something or other, and looking up into the mirror. You know how the bus drivers have the big mirrors? They can see the whole bus, and you can see their face talking. He was always a big talker. All right. I remember one time in particular, he gave me a transfer. I don't even know if they still do that. All right. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. He gave me a transfer at the Broward Boulevard bus terminal. You know, and and I remember asking him which was the bus I needed to get on to go to the Galleria Mall, and he told me. Yes, that's right, the mall on the beach. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers, and Mike Lindell, he's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever...
I got a new MyPillow commercial with Chaplain Jethro. It was on my podcast last night. It'll debut on the radio tomorrow. I left it on my computer at home and forgot to bring it to the radio station today.
My slippers.
Brian, I have
Steve Kane Show.
MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy.
Hold on.
These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow, My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't
Steve Kane Show.
Even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper.
Oh, the bus sucks.
That mattress topper is unbelievable.
The bus, I hate the bus.
Oh, man. My wife loves it. Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the
the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it, so it's great. Well, that's awesome.
Order your MyPillow, My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer
I'm always campaigning. I've been campaigning for President Trump since 2012.
Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, 34 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Jesse. I'm calling from Wilmington, Delaware.
All right, Biden country. Jesse in Biden country, Delaware. Lots of Delawares today.
I cannot stand Biden. But I'm just calling about the lady that called that she was from Delaware, talking about the jails and that how Delaware is. Delaware, there's a lot of murders in that little...
Let me ask you, because I don't know, too, are there black people in Delaware?
The city, in the city there's black people. There's a lot of murders there. And, my father was in prison. And them prisons down there are like college camps. So I don't know what that lady was talking about.
The Delaware prisons are like what? Palaces?
College campuses.
College campuses. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you get TV.
Now you're black, right? You're black.
No, I'm white.
Really? You sound black. You sound black.
Yeah, I'm white.
Does this guy sound black to you? You guys let me know. You sound black to me.
I know.
People tell you sound black?
Yeah, but I'm from the city. I grew up in the city down there.
Are you sure you're not black? It's okay.
I'm not black, man. I'm white.
Okay.
I say I'm black. I'm white.
Okay. You sound black to me.
Yeah, but I wanted to tell you that, the prisons down there ain't as bad as that lady says they are. And the guys that January 6th, they need to be treated better.
They do. When I was a kid, my father was a prison guard at a maximum security prison here in Florida in a place called Belle Glade. And I actually drove by that prison last year, and I made a YouTube video about it. And it was a scary place. It was not a college campus, I'm here to tell you. I've been to that prison. But if you go to prison, you want to go to prison in Delaware because it's like a college campus.
Well, I'm saying you get TV, you get movies every week, you get commissary.
I bet you get a free college education too.
Yeah, you get all that. You get your education, you get all that. I mean, for being in jail, what else do you expect?
What was your dad in prison for? You said your dad was in prison. What was your dad in prison?
My father did. My dad did 25 years in prison.
For what?
Did something back in the 80s. He sold methamphetamine back in the 80s, but he got out and straightened his life up. He's doing good.
He did 25 years for stealing drugs? He didn't shoot anybody or anything?
No. He sold methamphetamine.
Oh, he sold methamphetamine. I thought you said he stole from a drug dealer. Oh, okay, he sold methamphetamine. He must have had a lot. How much did he have?
It was back in the 80s. He was a big drug dealer. It was back in the 80s. He got 25 years. And my grandma used to drag me down there every week to go see him. So I grew up in a prison, because I used to go see my dad.
Well, I imagine he did pretty well when he got out of prison, because if he was a methamphetamine dealer, he probably has exceptional mathematical skills. They're very good at math.
I don't know.
Drug dealers? Oh, yeah.
I know. I mean, he's been out for like 25 years now. I'm 50, and he's doing really well.
Good. You know, a lot of guys, they do it. How long did he do the full 25? Or did he get out early?
He did 22 or 25.
Did 22? That must have been a federal crime. You got to do 80% of your time.
Have to do 80%.
80%, yeah. Well, you know, let me tell you something. It's good that he's doing well, because a lot of guys, you know, they get out of prison and they collapse. And we had a guy in once who, as a guest in studio, he was a hitman for the mob. And he actually did time at the prison my father was a guard at, and I mentioned his name. He remembered my dad was one of the guards, and he did 25 years for murder. And he had a Christian ministry here that helped guys that got out. And he says, you know, when you're in prison, they tell you when to wake up, how to button your shirt, how to put your socks on. And these guys, they do long stretches. They get out. They don't know how to function, because they tell you what to do at every second of the day in prison. They can't function. So a lot of them get locked up again on purpose, because that's the only place they can survive. But your dad did all right. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I still think that guy sounds black, but, you know, hey, I could be wrong. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Just think about what you just said. You know, the guy does 22 years of dealing drugs and somebody gets 25 for murder. Seems like a little off there, but whatever. You know, crazy system we have.
Does anybody? Let me ask. I throw this out. Now, I throw this out to you guys. I'll ask you too, Doug, if you can give an answer. You're not good at answers, but you know, this guy's dad did 22 years out of a 25-year-old sentence for drugs in Delaware. Do you believe that Hunter Biden has done an illegal drug in the White House since his dad has been president?
I think he probably does, yep.
What about you guys? Does anybody else out there think Hunter's ever done an illegal drug in the White House since his dad has been president?
Yeah, when you're a junkie like that, you know, they don't care. There's just another place for them. It doesn't matter. There's no holy ground for them, in my opinion. But, you know, first of all, I want to bring out something you said before. You know, first of all, CNN and MSNBC to me is the anti-truth network. And you are lucky you went to that meeting with Laura Lumen. You're lucky you got out of there without getting hurt. Man, that was...
You know, I'm not going to, you know, that CNN tried to get me arrested at that thing with Laura Loomer, and if the police officer was not a listener of this program, who knows what would have happened. Luckily, the CNN producer went to a cop that knew me, you know, but if he didn't, and even he had to convince her, you know.
All these things on these riots, and they cold cock people, and they're smacking people around. Yeah, you're lucky some of the people in the audience didn't decide to hit you with a chair or something.
I've been attacked. You know, I was at an event in front of the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale. A liberal recognized me from the radio show, pushed me in front of traffic during rush hour on Broward Boulevard, and laughed while they did it. They tried to kill me. A liberal, you know, and yeah, these liberals, and you know, they're tyrants. They're, you know.
You got to go in disguise. You got to be in disguise. You're popular, man. You know?
I guess so.
Yeah, man. You know, one other thing I just want to bring out, and then let you go. You didn't mention anything. Maybe you didn't see it on One American News. Senator Johnson had a fantastic thing on 2 hours that I watched. 2 hours of all the doctors getting together and talking about...
Are you talking about the lockdowns didn't help? You know, I don't know. I don't know what they mean by that. I mean, it's hard for me to believe it didn't help because, you know, I talked about, you know, I had a cold recently. It was the first cold I had in 2 years. And I think the reason I didn't have a cold or flu in so long is because... you know, of the lockdowns and stuff kept me from getting exposed. You understand what I mean? So I'm not a scientist or anything, so I'm not going to try to interpret a study. But you know, when people don't get, when you don't have, you know, what's the number one way not to get pregnant if you're a woman? Number one way. The number one way for a woman not to get pregnant.
Stay away from the man.
Well, not have sex, right? Not get close, have sex with a man. So, to me, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I certainly am not going to try to interpret a scientific study. But when people are not in contact with one another, they're not passing things along. You know what I mean? So I don't understand how. I'm not saying that I supported the lockdowns, okay? And they went on in the beginning, yes, when Trump first did it, because we didn't know what was going on, we didn't know what Fauci was all about, and it was a scary time, and Trump made some decisions that he felt were necessary, getting advice from Fauci, but a lot of these, after things were known, continued long after they should have. So I'm not saying that I'm supporting lockdowns or shutdowns or anything. In the state of Florida, we were always open. We've never been shut down as a state. But it just seems to me if people aren't having contact with one another, they're not passing things to people. And this thing about the study that I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked at the study. But, for example, the sample size makes a big deal, too. Like, if you did a sample in New York, if some of those people are in New York City, it would skew it. New York City, the lockdowns didn't work in New York City because people live in these buildings. Like, there are buildings in New York City that have more people living in them than live in the entire city of Tamarack, right? You know how big those buildings are. And they have community space, the elevator, the hallways. You understand? So lockdowns in New York City, because of the way people live, spread things more. But here in Florida, where we are a suburban community, it's a different situation. We're not sharing elevators and stuff as much unless you're at a high-rise on the beach, or something. You understand what I mean?
100%. If you can watch that, I would suggest you watch because
No, I'm going to check it out. I saw the story yesterday, and I am going. I wanted to take the time to look at it before I talked about it. But I'd be most concerned with where the sample was for that study. Because if it's people that were in apartment buildings or New York City, it would skew it.
Well, he gathered all the scientists and top doctors from around the world, and it was a fantastic thing. Hearing about the drugs and hearing about how Fauci screwed things up, very, very, very informative. And
Well, I'll tell you one thing where certainly people. How many? My wife has a health issue going on right now, and if it were normal times, she would have been in the hospital. And she's avoiding it because all the COVID people are going to the hospital, so she doesn't want to get around the COVID people. There have been millions of people in this country are not getting routine tests that they need for all kinds of things, heart tests, other things. And there are people that are probably have died of many things in the last 2 years because they're afraid to go to the hospital. They're afraid to go to the doctor's office, because of a lot of these things that are going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go there, man. I agree. I wouldn't go.
Well, it's scary. The hospital in my neighborhood, last time I went by there, the nurse is wearing, she looks like Dustin Hoffman in Outbreak, right? She's all got the yellow thing on, you know what I mean? It's like, she looks like, when Marty McFly wanted to scare that kid and he dressed up in the radiation suit. Some of these nurses look like that.
Yeah, you want to see something funny? Stop into the post office off of Samples Road, and you see one of the guys working there is the same kind of thing. He has everything on. It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, my mailman, he had a package, and I went to save him some effort of having to walk to my front door, and I walked up to him to take it from him. Oh my gosh, I mean, he went postal. He freaked out, and he's made his own barrier with those mail baskets. They're like gray. He's cut one up, which is, by the way, destruction of federal property, and he's put it up, which obstructs his view on the side of his Jeep car thing he's got. But I went up to him to help him out to get the package. He started freaking out. He's got gloves on. He's behind a barricade, and he's got masks on. He's by himself, and there's nothing dirtier than the U.S. mail.
I tell you, people are really way too.
That's right. Hey, Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Be right back, guys.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
See, this is the video I was talking about with Jill helping Joe. Look at this.
Compassionate advocate,
Look at that.
Just a touch of a button away.
Is that feeble?
Call Debbie's office.
Look how feeble he is.
954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Isn't that scary?
Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back. You know, Debbie at I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates can help you no matter where you are in America, not just Florida, but America. And Steve has that service, and she helped him out a lot. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. All right, let me get into some of these other topics, though. And you, by the way, you're all welcome to give us a call at 1-888-GO-CANE-1 on anything I've brought up so far on the program today. You know, this Magic Johnson, is Magic Johnson a conservative? Because he's really exposing these Democrats' hypocrisy out in California. First was Governor Skinny Pants Newsom, took that picture with Magic Johnson. And, you know, it's a big deal because, California and Los Angeles in particular have the strictest regulations of anyone in the country, even still today. And Governor Newsom, he blamed Magic Johnson. Said Magic wanted to take a picture. So he asked me to do it, so I did it, and all this stuff. And now Mayor Garcetti, who is the son of the man who allowed the butcher of Brentwood, O.J. Simpson, to go free. And that's true, Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles, he's involved in this Magic Johnson scandal too, with the no masks while they're requiring it on everybody else in town in the state. His father allowed O.J. Simpson to go free of killing 2 white people, even though he was the prosecutor. And the reason that is Gil Garcetti, who lived one street over from O.J., when O.J. was acquitted of murder, my wife and I, we were out in Los Angeles. And it was not long after the O.J. Simpson trial, so we went on the O.J. Simpson tour. We went by Nicole's house And then we went by OJ's house, and OJ actually came out the front gate, scared the hell out of me. He killed 2 white people and got away with it, with his daughter Sydney and his bodyguard, and should have gone up to talk to him. But anyway, we didn't. So I remember we were in front of OJ's house, which has now been torn down, the famous one, that night, and OJ came out, and then when we drove away, one street over, Gil Garcetti, the prosecutor, was walking his dog. He lived one street over from OJ. I couldn't believe. I know, right? You think Washington's a bunch of insiders, but Gil Garcetti, the Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles' father, how he helped OJ get away with murdering 2 white people is he moved the trial from Brentwood to a minority part of Los Angeles so that they could have a polluted jury pool. And he probably did that because he didn't want the trial to be in his neighborhood. I don't know. But so anyway, his son is now the mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Garcetti. And they got a big crime problem going on out there. It's a disaster as well. And he was caught in a picture with Magic Johnson with no mask. And he has an excuse that is just total BS. This is Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles explaining that while he had his mask off in this photograph with Magic Johnson, it was okay. Listen.
And when people ask for a photograph, I hold my breath and I put it here and people could see that.
Okay, he claims that he was holding his breath. And anytime he takes a photograph with someone, he holds his breath. I saw the photograph. That was not a man holding his breath. These are the people that are running our lives. These corrupt Democrats. You know, do you ever find a Democrat that's not involved in corruption or hypocrisy? Are there any Democrats that you can think of currently in power, holding office in the media, that are not either corrupt or involved in some scandal of some kind? I can't think of any. All right, our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I'm looking at the clock, and you know what time it is? It's time for the Health Report with Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutrition counselor and co-owner of AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. Janet Cimarelli, good morning. Hey, Janet, how are you?
I'm doing great. And I'm here to ask a question. Is there anyone out there not taking vitamin D? Because I have more and more and more information always about supporting your immune system, supporting calcium metabolism, so ultimately bone density, supporting so many different health, important health aspects. So if there's no one out there taking vitamin, or someone out there not taking vitamin D, keep in mind that during certain chemotherapy treatments, there's inflammatory processes going on. Vitamin D, according to Harvard Medical School, reduces those side effects. Vitamin D reduces immune dysfunction, brings down inflammation, is associated with minimizing the problems associated with irritable bowel disease, autoimmune disease. So, remember the Zelenko protocol? I don't know if everyone does, but it's an Israeli physician who has put together this basis for supporting your immune system, not just during COVID. This is all the time so that you have the capacity to fight off whatever bacteria or virus you might be exposed to. So the Zelenko protocol is zinc, copper, quercetin, vitamin C, and the basic vitamin D. You can come into AJ's Natural Wellness Shop, and we have the best prices, the best selection. We have so many different forms of vitamin D that is meant to support your immune system, keep you healthy, regardless of what's going on in the community.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, one thing that's very important that you'll find with the nutraceutical supplements at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is when you take supplements, you want supplements that dissolve and are absorbed by the body. And I remember I'm sure you can look these up online now. I remember when I was in high school, my teacher showed us photographs that were taken of images of people's stomachs that had taken Centrum vitamins, and you could see the whole Centrum vitamin in the stomach just sitting there. You know, they like don't dissolve, and that's a big thing. Janet Cimarelli, you want to make sure you're getting supplements that actually dissolve and are absorbed by your body.
Many of the companies that we have at AJ's have dissolution studies, so they can tell you how quickly at different points along your digestive system their particular products dissolve.
Yeah.
It's important for people to understand. Centrum doesn't dissolve because it's so full of excipients, chemicals that aren't there to support the user, but rather part of the manufacturing process.
It's like corn, if you get my drift. It's like corn. We don't need to get more graphic than that. But I remember when I was in high school and he would show us these images of the Centrums. It blew my mind. Well, anyway, listen. On that note, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is, of course, in the Festival Marketplace. And, you know, the festival, very easy to find in Pompano, immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road. And inside, AJ's is very simple to find. Head back towards the food court. Right before the food court, look west. The information booth will be right there. That's where AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is. You can give them a call, 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. And, of course, Janet Cimarelli's radio show, Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. on all of our radio stations and the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app. All right, Janet, have a great day. We'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, we'll be right back with the third and final hour of Thursday's edition of Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now, here's Steve.
All righty. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Hour number 3 has begun. Steve Kane will be joining us after the next break. Before we knew he was a lowlife, Mitt Romney, remember Mitt Romney when he was running for president, was talking about Russia being a big threat, and the media just laughed at him. Jeff Zucker's CNN, they all just laughed at him. Where did he get his foreign policy? The 80s, remember all those jokes? Now Russia's been the biggest villain since Trump came down the escalator, and there were two happenings yesterday. The first one I'm just going to play, the Canadian truckers, and now, there's been some reporting, and it looks like it's been confirmed that the $10 million that was raised for the Canadian truckers is it being held and frozen by GoFundMe? I don't know. Canada is in a panic over the Canadian truckers. The Canadian truckers, they've never had a protest like this, the government in Canada. Canada, a lot of people think, because in Canada and England and Australia, because they speak English, that they're free, like the United States of America, and that's not the case. These other countries, these Commonwealth nations of England, of the United Kingdom, do not have a First Amendment. They do not have the same free speech liberties that we enjoy here in the United States. People think they do, and they don't. And, the Canadian truckers are turning Canada upside down. They're enough, they're saying, enough. And there's definitely a war going on against them. And the Canadian broadcasting system, which is, like the BBC, government-owned, government-run, government-controlled, no free speech, they're talking about the Canadian truckers, and they're looking into a new aspect. Listen.
I do ask that because, given Canada's support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset.
Wow, so that's the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, national news broadcast in Canada. They're actually saying that the Russians are behind the whole thing. They've instigated it. They're organizing it. These are not just hard-working truckers that have... Can you believe? It's like the 1950s. There's Russians under everyone's bed now. And that was yesterday. And then, that's Canada. That's right, the Great White North. Then, Jen Psaki, I cannot stand Jen Psaki. There's been press secretaries I don't like. But Jen Psaki, she has a personality trait that is one of the worst. It's one of the worst personality traits for me. She's so condescending, isn't she? She's always snooty, looking down. Now you know. Yeah, she's just, I can't stand the lady. So Canada is saying that this truckers thing in Ottawa is fake, that it's Russia. Russia, they instigated it, they're organizing it, they're funding it, it's just a Russian attack because of Canada's support of Ukraine. Yeah, right. That's what did it. So this is the White House yesterday. This is Jen Psaki, and Josh Hawley, he's the senator from Missouri. Isn't he from Missouri? And of course, he understands what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. It's a wag the dog. There's no problem. Biden's paying off the military contractors. He's trying to look butch. He's trying to look like he's doing something to deflect off of all the problems he's caused here. So, Psaki was asked about this yesterday. Listen.
Senator Hawley was at the statement today saying that the president should sort of take NATO membership off the table for Ukraine, and that wasn't in U.S. interest to do that. Do you think that sort of rhetoric or sort of position by a U.S. senator right now is helpful in this showdown between the West and Russia?
Okay, now let me tell you what the reporter said. They're off mic and they've got masks on. Some of them have 2 masks on and they're hard to hear. But since Psaki gets the questions in advance, she knows that she knows what they're saying because they give her the questions in advance. Senator Hawley saying there shouldn't even be a discussion of Ukraine being in NATO, which he is correct about that. Growing up, you hear all these things, the lessons of Vietnam, right? We lost that one in Afghanistan, and the lesson from the First World War is that don't get involved, in entangling alliances led to the First World War, which is true, and putting Ukraine into NATO. The NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, if you're a member of NATO, if a NATO nation is attacked, the other members of NATO are, through the NATO treaty, obligated to give military aid and defend them. If a NATO country is attacked, it's as if the United States is attacked or, the other one of the NATO allies. It's to be taken the same way. That's why a lot of these countries supported us after September 11th. Because they were NATO countries. But there was even a conflict then. Well, wait a minute, this wasn't in Europe, or is NATO stuff? Okay. That's how the coalitions get put together. So putting Ukraine into NATO guarantees a war. Guarantees it. It doesn't make Ukraine more secure. It makes World War III more likely. And it's a stupid idea. So Josh Hawley is saying there should not even be discussion of the Ukraine being put into NATO. And so Jen Psaki's response to this, listen to this.
Showdown between the West and Russia?
Well, if you are just digesting Russian misinformation and parroting Russian talking points, you are not aligned with long-standing bipartisan American values, which is to stand up for the sovereignty of countries like Ukraine, but others, their right to choose their own alliances, and also to stand against, very clearly, the efforts or attempts or potential attempts by any country to invade and take territory of another country. That applies to Senator Hawley, but it also applies to others who may be parroting the talking points of Russian propagandist leaders.
Okay, so what the White House has done here with Jen Psaki, what she's done is, if you are opposed to military action against Russia over Ukraine, which I dare Jen, I would love to show Jen Psaki, Kamala Harris would even be the best. Joe Biden probably knows because that's where his money comes from. But show them an unlabeled map and say, show me Ukraine. They'd have a hard time doing it. I would. I'd have to think about it. Black Sea's a landmark, then I'd figure it out. But, what they've done at the White House right there is say, if you oppose them, you're a Russian collaborator. If you oppose Biden, you're a Russian collaborator. What is this? Joe McCarthy here? To oppose them is to be a collaborator with Russia. That's what she said. The left are losing it. They're losing it. No doubt about that. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. 1-888-465-2631 is a toll-free call from anywhere. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris. I'm calling from Wisconsin.
Chris from Wisconsin. What's on your mind, Chris from Wisconsin?
Hey, you're talking about Biden and all this goings on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They ought to protect their own border, not worry about everybody else. Like, fight your own battle.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in your own country, you protect your own. And
obviously, what you're talking about is the invasion of the United States from Mexico that's going on here by the hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
I think Biden's got something going on with the cartel, so he ain't going to close the border because he's got money coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing we know about Joe Biden. Whatever he does it because he's getting paid. By somebody.
Yeah, and then why would he protect Ukraine? He's got an investment over there, doesn't he?
That's right. In fact, some people believe that Ukraine has some blackmail material on Biden through Hunter, and he's sending thousands of American service personnel to Europe in the wintertime to face Russia down during the winter, where no country has ever defeated Russia during the winter, the Nazis, Napoleon, but he's sending them over there because the blackmail material the Ukrainians have on him. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I'll stick with that. All right, hey, listen, take care. Wisconsin. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's the number, 1-888-465-2631. Okay, got a follow-up. Rachel Maddow has not yet taken her sabbatical. She is still on the air, polluting it with her lies and propaganda. There was an incident that I talked about on the show earlier in the week here in Florida with the fake Nazis. Remember the fake Nazis up in the Winter Park area? And I saw the video on Twitter. You guys can look it up. Fake Nazis. And you may say, and what it was, there were about a dozen people with Nazi flag or two and Nazi uniforms with megaphones on the side of the highway saying anti-Semitic Nazi things. And the media went to Ron DeSantis to condemn it, and he refused to. And by the way, they were fake Nazis. And you may be saying, well, what do you mean, Brian? How do you know they were fake Nazis? How do you know? It's pretty easy. Go and watch the video. There's two things you want to look for. Their Nazi clothes and the Nazi flag. Those Nazi flags are brand new. In fact, I saw a crease or two on one of them, which means that it was recently out of the package. Okay? And the clothes on all the Nazis were brand new Nazi uniforms. See, real Nazis, their Nazi flags are old, and they have them pinned to their walls at home. Okay? They don't have creases in them when they first come out of the package. And their uniforms, they wear them all the time, and they're all not new out of the package like they're brand new. They were fake Nazis. And what the media did is, and the Nazis, the fake Nazis, weren't wearing masks, by the way. And the media, you would think, if you're in the media, the first thing you would do is try to identify who these Nazis on the streets of Florida are. And Winter Park, by the way, is the Orlando, Florida area, big tourist area. The media, they didn't try to identify these Nazis because they'll find out they're Democrats. But they go to Ron DeSantis to condemn the Nazis because, to ask him to, you don't have to condemn Nazis. Everyone condemns Nazis, right? You don't have to condemn murderers. You don't have to condemn child molesters. There are certain things that in our society we all have, condemn. But they go to Ron DeSantis to condemn the Nazis. Why? Because to ask him to condemn them is to imply that they are his base, that they're supporters of his, and he must condemn them. So I'm looking at the clock. I got to take a break. We'll take our break. Steve Kane will be joining us after the break, and I'll play for you Rachel Maddow's lies and propaganda from her lowly rated MSNBC program about this story with Ron DeSantis and how she selectively edited it to promote her agenda. We'll take our break and be right back after this. Do not go anywhere. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the
Steve Kane Show.
And offering great deals on new and used tires.
Steve Kane Show.
Many suppliers, whatever car
or hey, Barry, hold on.
I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, today, February 3rd, we are
in that month, the month that has the date that we celebrate is Valentine's Day, the month of love and thinking about people we care about. And of course, the obvious thought is, to be thinking about people we love and making sure we plan for them, but such as our spouses and all. But what I want to focus on today is thinking about the people we care for and love, such as our parents or our grandparents, people who may be on the way to losing mental capacity. They may be at the beginning stages of losing their memory, and it's just so important to make sure that when we recognize this, that we make sure that these people that we care for and love have the right planning, and specifically that they have power of attorney. The power of attorney is going to enable us to do other planning that may be necessary down the road for them, including getting them qualified for Medicaid so that they don't have to slow down their assets that they worked their whole life for just because they happen to get sick. So one of the most important things for all of us, not just those who are in danger of losing their mental capacity shortly, is having a good power of attorney set up to protect them and their family.
That's a great point, Attorney Barry Siegel. I got a question for you. A lot of this time of year, it's snowbird season. If someone spends part of the time here in Florida and part of the time in New York or another state, do they need power of attorney in both states that you can help them with, or does what you do cover no matter what states they live part of the year in?
What we suggest for people who are spending significant amounts of time in both states, Florida and whatever other state, then they should have powers of attorney and healthcare documents in both states. If somebody's coming down here from New York, let's say, to Florida for a week, I wouldn't go that far. But if somebody's spending significant time, like months down here every year, then they should have Florida versions of those documents, even if they're New York residents.
Yeah, you hear that? And people get jammed up all the time because they don't talk to Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group, and they think they talk to a friend, or they go online, and there's all kinds of things that can happen. But the Siegel Law Group will take care of every eventuality because they deal with everything. And it's a completely free consultation if you mention that you heard them on the radio. Online at SiegelLawGroup.com, or call them toll free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. All right, Barry, have a great day. We'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. And I think we have Steve Kane with us. Hey, Steve.
Do.
Hey, doing all right. I told everyone I was going to play this clip from Rachel Maddow. Can I do that before we get rolling here? Okay, so just to recap just a second, they had fake Nazis up in the Orlando area over the weekend. They were maskless. The media doesn't do a story on the Nazis, doesn't find out who they are, where they came from, why the Nazi flags have creases in them like they were just out of a package, as opposed to pinned on the wall in their double wide. And they go to Ron DeSantis and ask him to condemn the Nazis, which you don't have to condemn Nazis. We all condemn Nazis. But to ask him to condemn them is to imply that they are his supporters. And he refused to do this and was very brilliant about it. So let me play you first when he's a smart guy, Ron DeSantis. Let me play you when he was asked and his response, and then we'll play you what Rachel tried to do last night, Rachel Maddow.
So what I'm going to say is these people, Democrats who are trying to use this as some type of political...
The sound went out on that bite, so I can't play that one. But he said he said Democrats that are trying to use that sound bite to imply something are the same Democrats that have Ilhan Omar in their party, and they're not asked to condemn her and her anti-Semitism all the time. So anyway, they didn't get the response that they wanted. So Rachel Maddow did a piece last night, and she's upset that he didn't condemn the Nazis. Listen.
Please respond to the Nazis. That's what Ron DeSantis was asked. And he starts off, so what I'm going to say to these people, what do you think he says next? Here's where he went with it.
So what I'm going to say is these people, these Democrats who are trying to use this as some type of political issue to try to smear me as if I had something to do with it, we're not playing their game.
Not going to play their game of condemning Nazis? Because that's a Democrat game that you don't want to get dragged into to muddy yourself. I am not kidding when I tell you that Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, his answer continued for another 2.5 minutes, in which he talked about Joe Biden and inflation and immigration and crime. He even talked about Airbnb, but he never actually got around to condemning the Nazis.
Because you don't have to. So since he didn't condemn the fake Nazis, that makes him a Nazi supporter in Rachel Maddow's mind. Boy, her sabbatical can't happen soon enough. What a bunch of filth on that program, Steve, I tell you. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on. Yeah, go ahead, Steve, you had something?
Say, have you read any updates on what's going on with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, she's on suspension and she's threatening to quit.
That was the latest development. I just saw it on my...
But I found something out about Whoopi Goldberg I did not know. She is worth $60 million. I thought she did The View because she hadn't worked in a long time and was broke. She's got $60 million, so she can afford to walk. And for the first time in her life, she's been disciplined and told what to... She hasn't been told what to do since Ghost in 1990.
Let's face it, she was humiliated by the...
Well...
Understand. All her woke friends and supporters are sitting there, making her out to be the right one and expressing indignation at how their poor Whoopi has been treated. You think she's going to quit? I think she's going to.
I think there's a 85% chance she walks because she in 1990 is when she did Go. She won an Oscar. She has never, since that point in time, she's never faced a consequence, never been told no, has everybody kissing her butt all the time, and she's a spoiled woman. And when you're a spoiled person and somebody disciplines you a little bit for this 2-week hiatus, she'll stomp her feet and she'll probably walk over it. Yeah, walk away. And she makes Steve about $1 million a month on that show, working 1 hour a day, 4 days a week.
Well, if she's a saver, she's certainly...
She's got $60 million. She's got $60 million. I was surprised she was... Apparently, she's got some producer money from Sister Act, which I've never seen, but those were very successful movies, and she's made a lot of money in the movies. So they call that FU money.
Be missed.
No. All right, Juan, you're on the air. What's your name? All right, Juan, I said your name. Where are you calling from, Juan?
Springs.
Juan in Coral Springs.
Yes. And good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
There's a pattern here. These people, they infiltrate the so-called Nazis. They infiltrated the Tea Party. They infiltrated the Canadian convoy. They infiltrate the Trump rallies. And yes, I believe they infiltrated the January 6th that caused all that chaos. And they will do, and I predict this, they will do it for the United States of America. Are trying to put together to go to the...
Well, they did this in Ottawa over the weekend. They had a fake trucker put a mask over his entire face and carry a Confederate flag into the protest, and the truckers ran him off. So they already tried. The only Confederate flag in all of Canada. We had to drive across the border with it. They don't. That's an American thing. Most Canadians don't even know what that is. But yeah, and if you go to that flag was also brand new. It was a brand new flag. And you can tell the brand new flags because they have creases in them that are fold marks from the packaging, like the Nazis in Orlando.
I wonder what company is producing Nazi flags at this point.
I don't know. Probably like everything else, they probably get them off Amazon,
That's a great observation from your part, too.
Let me look. I'll look it up on Amazon if you can get a Nazi flag on Amazon. I don't know.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, but yeah, this is what Democrats always go out and do these things. They're fake. They're fake. They pretend to be us, And I've been going to conservative events for many, many years. The only time I've ever seen a Confederate flag at a Republican event is when I'm watching them on TV. I have never seen a Confederate flag in person at any Trump rally I've been to or Republican event that I've been to. You can, let's see here, you can buy all kinds of Nazi stuff, Steve, on Amazon. Yeah, I don't see a Nazi flag. I see lots of, I see Nazi coins.
Old antique stuff.
Yeah, no, well, they still make them. I don't know where. No, I don't see a Nazi flag. So I guess they don't sell. I don't know where. I guess probably the DNC. That's probably where you get the Confederate flags too, because Democrats are the ones that typically and see this. Charlottesville was the worst. Anytime I see these white supremacist events, I always look for the creases in the flags. The one in Charlottesville, the Nazi and Confederate flags all had tiny little squares from the fold marks from the packaging on them. They were right out of the packages. They were, I guess, handing them out there on the spot. Real Nazis already have the flags, and they're well worn and used, and they don't have creases in them. So no, they do not sell the swastika flags on Amazon. So I don't know where the Nazis get their flags. I can only assume the DNC. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with some more. Steve's here. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this.
I love my MyPillow towels. Unlike other towels, the MyPillow towel absorbs. They're soft to the touch. They come with a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Mike Lindell says towels that actually work. What a concept. But don't just take my word for it. Christine from Pennsylvania called live on the radio and shared her experience with her MyPillow towels.
I was just going to say, I bought the MyPillow, my towels, a couple weeks ago, and they are fabulous. They are the best towels I've ever used. They're just the right amount of thickness. They're not too thin, they're not too thick, and they're a great length. They're like longer than your average towel, and they are fabulous, luxurious.
You know, what's amazing to me about the MyPillow towels, Mike Lindell's a genius with his invention. It absorbs the water, and the towel's not soaking wet after.
Yes, exactly.
You know, other towels, the water just kind of lays on top of them. They don't absorb it, and you're just smothering water, smearing it around on your body. Now with the MyPillow towels, what color did you get?
I got the sage green.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to order because I love purple, and I'm going to have to get a purple.
Man, my wife's ordering the purple too, and she says it doesn't match our bathrooms, but she likes the purple anyway, so we're getting purple. Exactly. All right, Christine, thank you so much. The MyPillow towels are normally $109.99, but with our promo code at checkout, Kane, K-A-N-E, just $39.99. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we're back. 32 minutes after the hour. It's The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. I got a couple of audio sound bites I have not gotten to yet that I want to play. This first one, there's a woman who came forward. She went in front of her school board meeting. This was up north. And she found out something that her child was forced to take part in. involving critical race theory, and she confronted the school board with it. Listen to this. This is insane.
I just want to counteract that. I actually pulled my daughter out of AM Culp because of the 5th grade teacher who lined those students up from whitest to darkest, made them turn around, and the white ones needed to apologize to the black ones. Now, do not tell me that it did not happen, okay, in this district. You need to put an end to this. Kids do not see color, and you are segregating them and you are separating them. This is not okay. Do something or get out of those damn chairs.
Wow, so the white students were forced to apologize to the black students for what? I don't know, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I know. I mean, this critical race theory has gotten just out of control, Steve. I mean, this is just...
So we get to the midterms, the worse it's going to get.
Oh yeah, this is going to be one of the, like the big defining issues of the entire election is going to be critical race theory.
It's outrageous. I mean, stop and think about it.
Well, and no one has the sense to say, wait a minute, we shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? It is. Well, how do you think I found out about it? It's making the circuits online, so hopefully it'll, on television. Well, it should. It's good video, and I mean that is frightening. They used to do this when I was in college. I took a course, and it was a course on how to teach social studies education course. And they had a woman come in. They gave a lesson to the class from an organization called Population Connections, and she had and she set us all. She split the class up into different groups. This group was the United States. This group was South America. This group was China. This group was Europe. And then she had a big bag of candy, and she passed out piles of candy to each group, and some groups got more, some groups got less, and the group that got the most was the United States. And what the candy represented is the amount of pollution and garbage that come from each of these places, and the United States, of course, is the #1 polluter and had the most candy. It was so they've been doing things like this for decades, but now they've just moved it into race. And now, I mean, what they're doing, Steve, they're making like white children like servants. You know what I mean? It's like servants. They're like got to walk behind it. Like geishas. They got to walk behind the minority students. They got to apologize to them. And I wonder what would have happened if a student refused to apologize to the black students. It's just but it's happening. And a normal, if you had sane people around, people would say, "Wait a minute, come on, no, we can't do this." But administration and everyone, they're so whacked out with this critical race theory. They're so brainwashed.
Going on under the radar up till this.
Well, it's been last year. It's been all over the news.
Well, it's coming out in dribs and drabs like this story.
Yeah.
And it's building.
Yeah.
The more exposure it gets, the more outraged people are going to be. I mean, it's a good sign that it's becoming public.
And I know a lot of people say, well, pull your kids out of school, go to private school. Most people cannot afford private school. They can barely afford to fill their cars up with gas these days.
Is to make the critical
race theory.
To make the critical race theory to show more things like this, let people realize how extensive it is.
Yeah.
I think most people know what's going on.
Well, what happened was when a couple of things happened. The first was with the shutdowns, and they were doing the school lessons on Zoom. Parents got to see the videos of what the teachers were doing. That was the first stage. And then all this stuff that happened in Northern Virginia at those school board meetings, and this wasn't Loudoun County. This was another district. I can't remember which district that lady was from, but and what state. I don't even think it was Virginia. But parents in other school districts around the country saw what was going on in Northern Virginia and have started to pay attention and find out what's going on. And this election year, the critical race theory is going to be one of the biggest defining issues in these things, and it's going to come up during the Supreme Court hearing because Biden's going to appoint a militant black woman who is going to be. Oh yeah.
And I didn't get the name, but it was watching Fox last night because it was dozing off, and they put up a. I wish I remembered her name. They put up a name out there that Biden was considering that looked like, to me, I mean, I know what I'm expecting, and I'm expecting an outrageous nomination because I think Biden wants we're going to be doing a lot of the Supreme Court thing when it's.
Oh yeah.
But it was.
What made her seem normal? Because she wasn't wearing a Black Panther outfit? I mean, wait till they.
No. A lot of the descriptions, a couple of the Republicans have already said they have no objection to.
Oh, yeah, rhinos.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it unfolds. But
there's no way.
They brought out yesterday, from what they said, sounded okay with me.
Well, but you haven't heard anything about her yet. But believe me, no, there is no one that Biden is going to appoint that's not radical, because that's what's out there right now, radical people. Okay, I got one more clip I wanted to play. This is MSNBC, and they're talking about what they believe needs to happen to President Trump. This is MSNBC during Nicole Wallace's show yesterday, and Nicole Wallace is a Republican, right? This is Nicole Wallace on MSNBC yesterday.
At this point, I don't care if he's found guilty of treason, if he's found guilty for violating records. I don't care if they find that he has a blockbuster VHS tape from 1998 that he's never returned and owes $100 million and has to go to jail. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, the guy has been so obvious about being a direct danger to American democracy that he has to be jailed.
Yeah, Donald Trump, he has to be jailed because he's such a danger. I mean, that's like open discussion. Yeah, he has to be jailed.
Move from reality.
Yeah. I mean, and he's saying that he has to be jailed because he's a political threat to them. So that's textbook political prisoner.
Fox late last night. Who is the latest judge that they're talking about for the Supreme Court? She sounded very moderate and very acceptable, which amazed me because I'm looking for a fanatic. But if anyone knows the name of that, was watching Fox last night, the name of the justice that they're...
The judge? Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking on their website. I don't see anything about the Supreme Court. I'll look during the break and see if I can find, but I don't see... we really haven't got... believe me, Steve, when they put them out there, they're going to look fine. When they start getting into the backgrounds, when you're going to find out... There are not Democrats today that are not radical. They're all radical right now. See, that's the problem. They may not look like it when they introduce you to them, but it's going to be, there's a lot of conservative media out there now that'll be investigating and finding the things that these rhino Republicans don't want you to know about. But you know what? It's not going to matter. I mean, who has ever voted for in a midterm election for any particular political party because of a Supreme Court pick by the president? When has the Supreme Court pick ever affected the vote of a single person? To me, it seems like a desperate move by Biden.
This is a desperate move because he's in the worst shape of any potential candidate I've ever seen.
Did you see the video of Joe Biden walking him off the stage yesterday? He didn't know where he was going.
They had footage of him being walked on the stage and
Oh, I didn't see the walk on.
With his wife.
I saw the walking off stage, and he was totally checked out. He didn't know who she was, where he was going. He was just following her. And he could barely do that. He looked more frail and feeble than I've ever seen him.
It's getting
hard
to avoid.
Yeah, I know. And that's something that I'm sure has Putin frightened about. I was talking to you yesterday. You don't think what's going on at CNN's a big deal? All this sex scandal stuff that's going on. Well, there's several things going on, right? Chris Cuomo was just fired for trying to cover up sex scandals. The CNN senior legal correspondent was masturbating to a female employee on a video call, and now this thing with Jeff Zucker, and Jeff Zucker's sugar baby that he's brought up through the ranks. Before she was with Zucker, was working for Governor Cuomo, and they were, and CNN, under the reign of Jeff Zucker, has been dedicated for one thing and one thing only: passing moral judgment on Trump. That's all they've done, and they've got multiple. Oh, I left out one of the. They've got Jeffrey Toobin, the masturbator. They got Jeff Zucker, the sugar daddy. Chris Cuomo covering up multiple sex scandals, and I forgot Don Lemon has a young man making an accusation about inappropriate touching in a bar. I mean, Steve, there's an epidemic of sex freaks over there, and these are the people that have been passing moral judgment. Yeah.
Nothing inconsistent about that.
No, there's going to be a big change in the news. Megyn Kelly was on Eric Bolling yesterday, and she's got some inside stuff. And she didn't want to report on it yet, but she said there are many more major shoes will be falling. She's just online right now. I think she's going to end up at CNN when the shakeup happens. There's going to be a major change in the fake news media. And CNN has been the leader in the Never Trump media dialogue.
They changed it.
It can only get better. Yeah, they got rid of Fredo. Zucker was a big problem. They're saying insiders are saying Brian Stelter is next because they call him Zucker's water boy, and he's been covering for Zucker for years. And while he's passing judgment on other members of the media, so no, there's going to be a big house cleaning at CNN, and it's going to come. There'll still be liberal, but not. Mm-hmm.
Is Trump have anything scheduled?
I don't know when the next Trump rally is. If anyone knows, call and let us know. Yeah.
You miss it if you're not prepared.
I haven't heard another rally announced. If anybody has, let me know.
Is there anything about the Don schedule? Call him and...
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, listen, we'll take a break and be back with the Gold Report after this.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All righty, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. Good morning, William Youngerman. How are the metals looking today?
Good
Good morning, Brian. Metals are looking solid. The market on gold yesterday was up $5.60 after trading in a range from $1,794 to $1,811. We closed at $1,806.40 the ounce. Silver was up 2 cents on the close yesterday at $22.62. Platinum closed up $8 at $1,033, and palladium was up $24 at $2,310 the ounce. This morning we got a little bit of trading range of $1,800 to $1,810 so far. Right now, gold at $1,803.40, down about $3. Silver down 22 cents at $22.40 the ounce, while platinum is down $8 at $1,025, and palladium is up $10 at $2,320. The stock markets are poised to open much lower this morning. The dollar is weaker. Oil hanging around just under $88 a barrel, and Bitcoin is at about 36,500.
Yeah, and not only do you sell the metals, you also buy them. You know, when it comes to the bullion, right, the coins, gold, silver, platinum, palladium coins, you buy those as well. Can you tell people how that works?
A good two-way market and have for over 50 years in all of the precious metals. You just simply bring them in. We pay you the cash on the spot, or wire transfers if you're shipping it to us. It's very easy.
Okay, so that's interesting. So people that can't make it in, that are out of town, you can also buy from them?
And as soon as we get them, we can wire them funds.
Okay, so guys, if you're out of town and you have something made of the metals and you're looking to turn it into cash, or maybe you have something that you want to turn into coins or bars or something, give them a call. They open up weekdays at 10 over at William Youngerman. Online at williamyoungerman.com. The number, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And you can stop in person at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we will finish out the week tomorrow. Okay. All right. You know, Steve, this thing with CNN, the reason it's important is we're in the beginning of the election year, right? It hasn't even heated up yet. We're right in the beginning of it. And if you go back to all the fake stories about Donald Trump, the original source for almost all of them has been CNN. CNN is the deep state, mainstream media. Who's been doing this, and now that he's out, there's a big shakeup of personalities on the camera, behind the scenes coming.
When all is said and done, and the dust settles, are you saying you think that CNN's going to turn out to be a neutral?
No, they'll always be liberal, but the foaming at the mouth, never Trumper thing will disappear. You won't see it as much when it's all over. Jeff Zucker has been the one who signed off on this Stormy Daniels, Michael Avenatti crap, okay? And that went on for months. And this Russia narrative crap, and doing specials saying that Trump is an insurrectionist. CNN is what the New York Times used to be. It's like the media source of record in the mainstream liberal media, right? So CNN, something goes on CNN, it has the credibility of being real in the mainstream media circles. It's where all the stories come, and it's the source that's cited by the other media, and it's been led by this foaming at the mouth Jeff Zucker, never Trumper. They're still going to be liberal, but when the shakeup is complete, that foaming at the mouth never Trumperism is going to be gone with Zucker. It's more than a plus. It's more than a plus. And in fact, 95%, if you think about it, of the fake news stories, CNN, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be out at CNN. They're going to bring in new management. They already have new owners coming in, taking over. And Megyn Kelly was talking about this yesterday. She was on with Eric Bolling on Newsmax. There's many more scandals are going to come out, and what they're talking about now, you know, in these New York liberal circles, what Jeff Zucker did is a crime. It literally is a crime. she had his sugar baby was promoted up through the ranks to this vice presidential management position because she was sleeping with him, and that's not allowed. That's like employee theft. And there are a lot of people at CNN on the air and off the air who covered for him. They're going to be gone too. It'll be liberal, but it won't be foaming at the mouth anti-Trump like it is now. This Zucker's got a personal beef with Trump, and he's used CNN as a tool to get his anger on Trump out, and that's huge. Especially,
the lady was having the affair with.
She's going to get fired too. She was breaking the rules too. I mean, she's like a call girl. I mean, she got promoted through these. Katie Couric said that that Zucker gave her a job on her show for a position she didn't even need because they were sleeping together, and she accepted it. She was a party to this. She's in as much trouble as he is, and they're saying he was fired for now. That's not expected to last, and this is going to, these, like with Whoopi Goldberg on The View and CNN have been on this moral high ground, slandering President Trump and every other Republican that, like, for example, there was this fake story about Matt Gaetz that CNN's floated. They accused him of doing something with an underage girl, which was absurd, and that's all on CNN. And because of Jeff Zucker. CNN was always liberal, but they became vicious under Jeff Zucker. And now that he's out, there's going to be a big tone change over there. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be today or next week. It'll take time as they clean house. But we're going to get at least something that's liberal, but news, not foaming at the mouth Trump derangement syndrome 24/7.
Reason to believe that the New York Times is going to...
No, I don't know about that, but a guy like Zucker doesn't have just one girlfriend. He's got girlfriends all over town, and all kinds of things are going to come out, and it's going to turn CNN upside down, and I can't wait. I'm very much looking forward to it. Absolutely. Now let me tell you, we are counting down to Valentine's Day, and there is no better gift for your Valentine than these great products at MyPillow.com. And with our promo code Kane, there's incredible deals. And whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. But I'd recommend a great Valentine's Day gift are the MyPillow bathrobes. They're 40% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You get his and hers MyPillow bathrobes. They have all the sizes and colors in stock. They have a bunch of new colors, including pink for the ladies. They also have a new style robe. My wife and I got the MyPillow bathrobes for ourselves for Valentine's Day last year, and I can tell you with 100% honesty that out of all the Valentine's Day gifts that I've gotten her and she's given me, the MyPillow bathrobe is the only one I can remember. Because what do you get? Flowers, you get candy, and it's forgotten. But the bathrobes, we have them, we wear them every day, and it's a gift that, like everything else Mike Lindell makes, is very well made. And it's just every day I know, that's my Valentine's Day gift from last year. 40% off with the promo code Kane. They have a new lighter robe as well. If you go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio listener specials, 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. And they have all the styles, sizes, and colors in stock on those. But again, whatever special you see, you can take advantage of with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, including their new special on the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. 60% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, as low as $39.99. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, Steve, we're out of time. You want to sign us off?
That does it for this. It's today?
Thursday. It is Thursday.
Okay, not
one more day.
Get one more show to go, and that will start at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Be sure to be tuned in as Brian kicks off the final day of the week for the Steve Kane Show. Until tomorrow, on behalf of our associate producer, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig, and co-host, and of course, you know me, I'm Steve. See you tomorrow. God bless Donald Trump.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority, and this time of social...
Well, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new, and if you want to support my content, a great way to do that, order my pillow products with the promo code Kane, but you can also become a Patreon supporter, and I have a link to my Patreon page in the description of this and every video I have up there. Just click that. It'll walk you through if you want to become a Patreon supporter. That'd be awesome. I'm going to sign off now. So, all right, guys, I got to take off. Make sure you like the video,